What's up, you guys? Steven with Magic Meadow Money. Quality assurance at Wizards of the Coast lately has been rough, to say the least. Right? There was recently a card that was printed with art that they didn't properly have legally licensed. Right? It was some fan art or something. They printed a card without owning the art. There was, of course, the debacle with the Japanese mystical archives where Ephemerate and Memory Lapse had the wrong art on them. And then lately, the latest news in these type of issues is that the Secret Lair from Valentine's Day with Heliod is simply missing. They didn't print Heliod. It's just nowhere to be found. So what's been going on lately with Wizards of the Coast, and how are they going to correct this? Certainly of these three examples of failed quality assurance, the one with Heliod is the biggest one that we all care about because that's the one that impacts us the most as consumers. This is the one that says, hey, you bought something and we are failing to deliver on that. That's the first major one of Secret Lair issues that they've had. Obviously, we've had extreme delays, but actually just printing the wrong product or printing a product that's not complete. This is the first one we've had of this. So how did this happen? There are a lot of things that go into printing a product and manufacturing a product. This is one reason why big companies don't sell to consumers, because business is complicated. There's a lot going on, and just to create a product and to create a game and to create the art, and there's a lot of moving pieces going on. Like every set that releases without an issue is frankly a miracle in my mind. Like, we're going to focus on the negative here for a little bit, but realistically, what Wizards is trying to do is really, really difficult. There's so many moving pieces, and if one thing goes wrong, well, you can have a product that's missing not only just one piece, the main piece, financially speaking, right? Missing that Heliod. That's why people bought the product, was for that money card, and that's missing. Yeah, that could happen in any number of ways. There's a million things that could happen, from one person's email to another person checking off a box to one person who maybe made the forms of everything that needs to happen, that something got overlooked. There's a lot of oversight or undersight, things that can be missed and things that can go wrong. Luckily, they caught this before, it seems like before they've been shipped out. So at least they realized it at some point to say, hey, we know right away we're going to expedite and print these, and we're going to offer, 5 free tokens. When I first got my email, because to be transparent, I bought 2 of these. I first got my email saying, hey, you're going to get this. Don't worry, we're going to include 5 free tokens. I was like, yikes, that is not a very good compensation gift to a consumer. But then later on in the email, of course, they're saying, hey, also here's a discount code for future purchases. So they're covering their tracks here. The problem is, realistically, they're probably going to make zero money off of this Secret Lair. Like, that's the thing. This might look like a small error, and it's like, oh, they're fixing it. But the consumer confidence, the trying to make sure they don't lose a ton of consumer confidence by giving you that discount code, the extra printing, the extra shipping, it wouldn't surprise me if they're just straight up losing money at this point on this Secret Lair. And then that's going to happen, right? Mistakes can be expensive, and they're a big company. They can afford to not just roll in a bunch of profit on this one product when they have a million things they're doing to roll in profit. But these mistakes, they can't always happen, right? You can't always have products that lose money because, for Econ 101, for those of you who are paying the big bucks to come to this class, you can't lose money as a business consistently, or eventually you go out of business. At the start of the video, we mentioned 3 examples of errors that Wizards have had lately that have happened in a very short amount of time. So is this a problem? Is this a systematic problem? Is it just random chance? We happen to have 3 issues in a row. Just because you roll 3 snake eyes in a row, it doesn't mean you have crooked dice. It could just be chance. And maybe with all the millions of moving pieces and the millions of decisions that are made over this company over the course of a year, maybe we happen to see 3 in a very short timeline, right? Within a month or 2 of each other. Or maybe this is an example of hubris, right? Wizards of the Coast saying, hey, we can just do whatever we want. We just print money. We can do anything. We're too confident. This is Icarus flying too close to the sun crowned. Hate that joke, but I'm leaving it anyway. I don't know, right? No one really knows. We can speculate from the outside, but realistically, if you're not working at Wizards of the Coast headquarters, if you're not in those board meetings and those management meetings, you don't really know how they're operating from the inside. Hopefully, this is just random chance that they just happen to roll snake eyes 3 times in a row. Like that's possible. And it's not crooked dice. It's just sometimes errors happen, but when we see them as humans happen in a row, we start to think there's something up, right? There's something going on here. We don't do well with randomness. We seek out patterns, mentally. Our brains naturally do it. Either way, if this just happens to be 3 bad pieces of bad luck in a row, or if these are some major systemic issues that are at the root of how the company operates and is organized and the core values that are being followed, Either way, what matters is how Wizards picks themselves up and move forward, right? That's what life is all about. We all make mistakes, and that's part of the joy of living life, is living and doing and taking action and taking risks. And sometimes things don't work out our way, or sometimes we make mistakes, and sometimes we make boneheaded decisions, or we're too myopic and we focus on just the small, what's right in front of us, and we don't look at the big picture. We're focused on the trees and not the forest. There's a lot of reasons why we can make mistakes in life, and what matters is that we pick ourselves up and move forward, right? I mean, Kai Buddha, like he might have the most lost matches, but people also consider him the greatest player of all time. He probably doesn't have the most lost matches at the pro level, right? But it could be someone like LSV. Like it wouldn't surprise me if John Finkel or LSV has the highest number of match losses. But that's because he also has the highest number. They have the most amount of wins, right? These are great players. These are Hall of Fame players that are just in the upper echelons of players. They lose a lot, and sometimes it's due to chance, sometimes it's due to bad luck, sometimes it's due to mistakes, right? And they're going to pick themselves up, they're going to learn from their mistakes and continue on their journey, and that's why they can have these long, amazing careers that those three people have each had, right, at the competitive level. They're really, really high-quality players because they learn from their mistakes, and that's what Wizards is going to do, hopefully, right? Hopefully they're not too prideful and not too big-headed and too much hubris going on to say, we can do whatever we want. Hopefully they realize we can clean up our mistakes and pick up and move forward, and that's the same with us. Right? I don't make perfect videos every time. I stumble over my speech sometimes. I don't make perfect edits. But this is a fun project for me, and what I really enjoy about it is learning. Right? That's one reason why I love making these videos, is because I'm learning a whole new industry, a whole new skill set, things that I don't really know how to do. So naturally, I'm going to make mistakes, and when we're starting something new, those mistakes are more heavily concentrated. Right? And that's okay. You just got to pick yourself up, and you got to move forward. Right? I mean, Kobe Bryant, Hall of Fame basketball player, 5 championships, or 6. No, just 5, right? Yeah, just 5 rings. Just 5 rings. His rookie year in the playoffs, he airballed 5 shots in a row, right? Well, now he's got 5 championships rings, right? The late, great Kobe Bryant, RIP. That's just an example. Like, hey, he could have that was his rookie year. National televised playoff games, millions of people watching, 5 airballs in a row. He could have packed it in. He could have had a lazy summer. He could have just sat there in defeat and had a lame career and maybe burned out after 3 years and didn't pan out. And said, hey, we drafted him at 17. He was a young kid. Didn't pan out. He didn't have what it takes to make it. But he bounced right back from that, right? He airballed 5 shots in a row, and then he took a 6th. Right? It's not like he never shot again. And that's the message that I think we should learn from today, is not focus on the negative and say, Wizards, down with Wizards. They have so many errors and mistakes, and they don't care about the little guy anymore. I don't know about all that. Maybe that's true. But I do know that when mistakes happen, you can pick yourself up and move forward. And I do know that mistakes are going to happen on a personal level, on a professional level, at a hobby level, a character level, with your relationships. You're going to make mistakes in life. Let's just pick ourselves up and move forward and have a good time.